biotechnology company. So absolutely the future, the value of the company is in the biotech side. So it's around the development of those therapeutics packages. So therapies and drugs to be used in combination. However, the psychedelics industry is different than any model that has gone before in healthcare or addiction. And four things need to be delivered together for psychedelics to be as effective as they possibly can be. And that is the compound, the therapy, the therapist, and the clinical environment. And so that is why we are a biotech company, but we will have a limited number of clinics. And those clinics are there to enable us to test and validate in the real world the therapies that we have developed in our clinical research.
My next guest is Anthony Tennyson, CEO of Awakn Life Sciences, trading on NEO under the symbol AWKN, and in the United States under the symbol AWKNF. Anthony, welcome back.
Thanks. Good to be on. Good to speak to you and your audience.
Thank you. It's great to see you again. Anthony, the last time we spoke was back in June, and since then you've had a number of really great developments. Why don't you give us an update on what's going on with Awakn?
We're a biotechnology company. We're focused on developing and delivering next generation psychedelic therapeutics to better treat addiction. And the addictions we're focused on substance addictions like alcohol and behavioral addictions like gambling. And so since June, we've been working hard to execute on both the development side of the business, which is the biotech side, but also the delivery side where we deliver those therapeutics. So on the development side, we're working with ketamine, MDMA to develop the therapies of that therapeutics package, but we're also developing our own drugs. So with ketamine, we've initiated the world's first study for a psychedelics treatment for a behavioral addiction. We've initiated a study for ketamine as a treatment for gambling disorder. And gambling disorder, it affects 400 million people across the planet, and it's currently very, very poorly treated. Also for ketamine, we've been really lucky. We've secured a publication date or confirmation of publication of the results of a phase 2B ketamine-assisted therapy trial for alcohol use disorder. That's going to be published in December in the American Journal of Psychiatry, which is one of the highest impact journals in the world. We've also then for MDMA, we've submitted our clinical trial protocol to the MHRA, which is the competent authority in the UK. We've submitted that, we've received feedback from them, and we should be submitting a clinical trial application for a phase 2B MDMA trial for alcohol use disorder, building on the phase 2A study that our team ran before they joined us. And we'll be submitting that this calendar year. And the importance of that is really not to be understated. You typically have a 75% relapse rate with the best treatments available for alcohol use disorder. The team discovered when they ran that phase 2A study that people who went through MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, there was only a 20% relapse rate after 9 months. It's groundbreaking. And not only that though, we've also run the first part of our drug discovery program. We've partnered with Evotech, the world's largest drug discovery company, and we've gone through artificial intelligence, medicinal chemistry, human and rat assay screening, and we've identified 4 compounds that are entactogen-like. So they got drug-like properties and they have the potential to be entactogens. So MDMA is an entactogen, but we're actually looking to develop an entactogen that will work in 2 hours with a 2-hour recovery window. So all of that activity, that's just what we're doing on the biotech side of the business. In addition to that, we're also delivering treatments as well. We've acquired a clinic operation in the Nordics in Norway, and we've also opened the first clinic of its kind in the UK in Bristol. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be opening a clinic in London. So we're a biotech company with massive potential, but we also have 3 clinics open and operational.
Huh. Wow, that's quite a bit of accomplishment for just six short months. So how do you acquire patients in your clinics? Do they find you online? Do they come from referrals from psychologists, psychiatrists?
That's a really good question. So we've been very lucky. We've got an incredibly strong team. Our team is led by Professor David Nutt, Dr. Ben Sessa, Professor Celia Morgan and Dr. Laurie Higbett on the research and the clinic side. These are globally renowned people, particularly Celia, Ben, and David. So we've been very lucky. We've actually had people actively reach out to us. So we've got an extensive waiting list for our clinic in Bristol. Other than that, though, the typical outreach program that we have in order to make sure people are aware of our services is a national media campaign, again, enabled by people like David and Ben and Laurie and Celia, a local media campaign to ensure that people are aware of our services. But really critically, it's about ensuring that doctors, psychologists and psychiatrists are aware, GPs, psychologists and psychiatrists are aware of us, and that they refer their patients to us. So, we were really lucky. We had a lunch and learn is probably the best way to describe it for 120 private GPs coming out of Kensington and Knightsbridge. So it's kind of the Harley Street district in London, which is one of the leading areas in the world for private medical care. And we had David Nutt giving a 90-minute speech on the future, or talk, I should say, on the future of addiction and mental health treatment in the UK. And the last question of the day was from a learned person in the audience who said, "Hey, David, what's the future of addiction and mental health treatment look like in the UK?" And before David could answer, the most senior doctor in the audience said, I think it's probably us working for David. So, so we're active across sort of national media, local media, and then referral pathway outreach. And that's how we get people to come into our clinics.
Wow. Okay, so it sounds like you've got quite the closed ecosystem there. Clinics to, sort of trial some of your drugs that you're in drug discovery mode on. So which is the more sort of revenue robust pathway for you guys? Is it the clinics and the treatment in person, or is it the drug discovery route?
Well, we are a biotechnology company. So absolutely the future, the value of the company is in the biotech side. So it's around the development of those therapeutics packages. So therapies and drugs to be used in combination. However, the psychedelics industry is different than any model that has gone before in healthcare or addiction. And 4 things need to be delivered together for psychedelics to be as effective as they possibly can be. And that is the compound, the therapy, the therapist, and the clinical environment. And so that is why we are a biotech company, but we will have a limited number of clinics. And those clinics are there to enable us to test and validate in the real world the therapies that we have developed in our clinical research. It also gives us access to data, because data is the fuel for the 4th industrial revolution. And having access to the clinics, we can, in addition to testing and validating the therapies, we can also capture a significant amount of data that enables us again to test and validate how modifications to the treatment programs deliver results, which comes back into the research business and again ensures that we are very relevant in what we do and that we are as completely effective as we should hope to be. So we're a biotech company. Value in the company is in the biotech side and the therapeutics development business, but we have got a clinics business to test, to validate, to refine. Also, it's very handy. It gives us access to free cash flow because each clinic, we'll have 20 clinics. We believe each clinic will generate 4 million sterling top line. That means going into, by the end of 2024, we hope to have 20 clinics. So that actually means as we go into 25, we should have 80 million sterling revenue run rate. And that gives us the ability to reinvest that free cash flow back into the biotech side of the business, which is the real engine of the business. Gives us the ability to reinvest in a non-dilutive manner.
Huh. Wow. Boy, I feel like I've been standing still for the last 6 months. It sounds like all of the regulatory barriers to this kind of research and the progress towards this is a mainstream option for mental illness and for psychological disorders. Have they completely evaporated throughout the UK as they have in North America?
I wouldn't say they've completely evaporated. I think they are beginning to break down. So for our clinic in Bristol, we have secured approval from the UK regulator to deliver psychedelic ketamine-assisted therapy for addiction, anxiety, depression, PTSD, and eating disorders. So that's a really, really big step. We've got that absolutely clear approval from the UK state to do that. However, it's in an off-label fashion. So people have to pay for it out of their own disposable income. So it's not available, it's not reimbursed.
Right.
It's not available through the public healthcare system. So our core purpose as a company is to democratize psychedelics. And democratization of psychedelics means securing marketing authorization to enable on-label use and reimbursement and availability through the public healthcare system. So we're beginning, but we're not there fully on our journey as of yet.
And what does that timeline look like to you in a best case scenario?
Well, so what we just announced yesterday is we've signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Healthcare Service in the UK. That is the overarching healthcare delivery system for the UK. It's the second largest healthcare system in the world with an annual budget of $200 billion. So we've signed a memorandum of understanding with them, and there's two core areas for that. It's to assess how operationally ready the NHS is to deliver ketamine-assisted therapies for addiction and treatment-resistant depression. And the second core area for that is to bring, do you remember I said we've got a phase 2B trial about to be published in the American Journal of Psychiatry?
Yep.
We're actually working now with the UK state to see how best we can bring that research forward into a phase 3 pivotal trial as part of a program to secure on-label use for ketamine to treat alcohol use disorder in the UK. So the length of how long is it going to take to get on-label use for psychedelics in the UK? For us, we're hoping 3 to 4 years if we can execute that program properly. And then you've also got others like MAPS, who are maybe 3 to 4 to 5 years away from securing on-label use for MDMA to treat PTSD in the UK and also the EU. So we're probably looking in about 5 years' time to hopefully have on-label use for a select number of psychedelics to treat a limited number of conditions in an on-label fashion in the UK. And ideally, really what good looks like here is if people are able, the NHS are able to refer their patients to companies like us, or their clients to pay companies like us, so that this can be democratized and can be available and people don't have to pay for it out of their own pocket, that it's paid for by the public healthcare system.
Yeah, fantastic. We're going to leave it there for now, Anthony. I really appreciate your time today. I hope you have a fantastic day swimming in the Irish Sea, and I look forward to talking to you again soon in the future. Thank you again.
You're more than welcome. I'm not quite sure why I agreed to go swimming today, but there we go.
Well, you're a better man than I. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Good to see you again. Take care.